What's up, guys? Welcome to the Higher View Podcast. I'm here with my better half, Alexus.
That's me.
Hello, wifey.
Hello.
This podcast is going to be dedicated to the creative, the outside thinker, and the believer. Everybody who is seeking healthy views on worldly topics and just seeking community, conversations, interesting conversations and different topics on different views and different subjects and stuff like that.
All that stuff.
All that good stuff. If you are into that, we are for you. We invite you. Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time, we just want to invite you to our conversation and just come hang out with us for a little bit. So,
grab yourself some water.
Get some water. Sit down, some coffee.
You know,
get relaxed.
Just chill. Maybe a feet soak with some Epsom salt.
From the ladies or guys. I mean, hey,
actually, it's proven that when you soak your feet in hot water with like Epsom salt and baking soda, even like vinegar, it removes toxins and it's a lymph node drainage thing.
There's like a lot of stuff that comes out of the feet, or a lot of stuff that deals with the feet.
Absolutely. And
I actually need that.
It's like,
I showed you my foot today.
Okay, I don't know the exact. Okay, nobody needs to know that.
TMI.
It's okay. It's good. But I don't know the exact whatever it's called, like studies or the exact numbers, but I know it's in 1,000 more times it removes toxins than working out.
What, that thing?
Like soaking your feet in hot water with Epsom salt and all that stuff.
Well,
I mean, it can't excuse working out. It does other things, but what hot feet soaking does is crazy. Wow. It's awesome.
Well, that was our podcast for today, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. No, but just get relaxed. This is just going to be, I would hope this conversation is going to be just an interesting and thoughtful conversation. I've put some thought to this, and the way that we came up with this idea was just inspired. I feel like it was a word that was really just given to me on a random morning, which is really when I get my most inspirational thoughts or ideas.
Your brain is fresh.
Yeah. My brain just, I'm a morning person. I don't know. I'm a morning person, but I'm not. Like, I'll wake up and I'm tired, but like my brain is like going.
We're like the same.
Do you really? I feel like you're just zombie.
What?
In the mornings?
Oh.
Yeah, in the mornings.
I thought you meant like all the time. I'm like, what? No. Are you kidding? We're about to have a fight right now.
I'm talking about in the mornings, bro.
No, it does not take me very long though. Like, I wake up, I make my bed, I get the coffee going. Like, I just don't like to talk right away. Like,
I admit that.
I'm like processing my brain.
No, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Let's speak the truth on here, please.
No, but how I get you better quit. How I get is when I wake up, my brain is like full of ideas, and that's like my idea time. I figure that out. Like, when I wake up, I get the most inspirational stuff. I get the most creative stuff like early in the mornings. It doesn't even matter how tired I am. I can be like dead tired and still just get thoughts and ideas and just want to do things.
Wow, with a brain like that, you can have a lot of potential in the mornings, you know? I'm not saying that you don't have potential in the mornings. I'm just saying, like,
I really don't do much,
No, you do. But like, if you have like your journal out and you write and you're reading and stuff, like, a lot of things can come to you in the mornings, you know, because it's fresh. Yeah,
I think I've been digging into more of seeing that I like writing more. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Like, just like this, having a podcast, it's kind of like a voiced dialogue of writing down like our thoughts and stuff, or a collection of audio.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I write every single day too, and I'm very much like that. So
yeah, the only thing is there's no eraser with this mic.
Just edit it out.
Yeah, just throw it out. No, but I wanted to talk to you guys about something that came to me early in the morning on the way to work. Me and Lex were driving to work. She's driving me to work all the way to Carrollton, and it was 6:30, 6:45.
We have to leave here at 6:30 to get to work by 7.
So yeah, it was pretty early, 6:45 and 6:47. Let's be safe.
Okay.
It was around that time, And it was on a day that it was raining. It was like foggy, gray, and it was just a dirty, rainy day on the roads. So we were driving, and I was just like looking out the windshield, like brainstorming ideas of what we could talk about. One of the topics that we can insert on one of the episodes. And I was just driving, and I'm trying to see out the windshield, and I almost got like a little frustrated because I couldn't see it. Like I had to keep using the windshield wiper, and it just like every time I did it, it smears, and it's just like a mess. And every time it's like dirt and water that's getting on the windshield. So it's not just water that's getting on there. Like I'd run through like a puddle, and then it's just like dirt all over again after I just wiped it. So I couldn't really see much, and it was just almost getting frustrated because at the same time I'm focusing. So I'm trying to like think about like what I'm doing, getting an inspiration and stuff like that. But as I'm doing that, as I'm in this moment, I have a realization. I'm like, isn't it funny how that works? Like our windshield gets dirty as we are going forward. Our windshield collects dirt, collects rain, and it gets blurry and it gets all dirty. You have to wipe. And that's when I had that idea of how blurry is your vision? How blurry is your vision?
Well, I really like that you came up with that.
Yeah.
It's really awesome.
I was kind of impressed with myself. What do I say?
Definitely, it sounds like we need new windshield wipers.
Oh, yeah. We do, actually. That's another thing.
If it's not working.
We'll just put that one on the list, too.
Yeah.
Everybody here on the podcast probably, like...
They need to get their cars tuned.
Yeah. They probably think we drive like a bucket.
Sometimes it feels like that, but no.
No, but I wanted to introduce this idea and really question where you are in your stance in life. Where do you think that you have dirty spots? You know, are there situations in your life that you feel like, you know, in your childhood, going through up until right now, like growing up, and is there dirt spots that you've accumulated on your view that make your vision blurry? You know, are there things that you feel like you've gone through that have just left a stain on you, and you feel like it just comes out in a reaction towards people that you really don't mean to? You know, like you react a certain way, and then after you act that way, you're just like, oh, like, why did I do that? Like, I didn't really mean to do that, you know? Mm-hmm. You act out of, like, emotion a lot, you know?
I'm sure we all do.
Yeah.
One way or another. Like, for me, I mean, I'm still walking through this, but I feel like I want to talk past tense because I'm a new person today, so. I felt like I've had to offend myself.
Defend.
I'm sorry.
Defend,
I'm sorry. Yeah. I had something in my throat. Defend myself. I felt like I've had to defend myself pretty often. Anytime, you know, I mean, especially with my spouse, like people closest to me, or if I'm sharing what's on my heart or things like that. And if their response, I just can take it a certain way. Like my perspective is poisoned. Like I have a poisoned perspective, and I recently just heard that. But like, it's true. And that's how your vision is blurry. Like, how's your perspective? Like, you can look at it that way. How do you look at people? How do you look at yourself? And how can you look in the mirror and love, you know, what has been blessed? Like, can you look in the mirror and love yourself? You know, like we're supposed to love ourselves because you're not supposed to hate yourself. Like, that's not healthy. How can you love other people if you can't look in the mirror and see pureness and the things that you want to see? Like, what do you want to see? You know, like, how do you want your vision to be? And I think that's a good start. Like, I think we all can fix our vision, like, every day, you know?
I think the fact that you said, how do you want your vision to be? That's a really good self-analyzing question, you know, and I think that's such a big step to take towards like this topic. If you have like that feeling that resonates with what we're saying, like what do you even like want your vision to look like? You know, speaking from like a personal aspect, I've been hurt, I've been offended, been rejected, I felt alone, I felt denied. Like I've been hurt in my life, and carrying things like that through my life, through my childhood, through just like my youth. You know, I'm only 23, and up until now, you know, having to go through all of those things, I can look back and say, when that stuff was in my vision, on my windshield, so to speak, I couldn't see straight. You know, my path wasn't straight. I didn't know which direction to go. I didn't know what thing I should do next. You know, I didn't even know what interest that I liked, you know, because my vision was so blurry. And I feel like so many people, and maybe it's just people that I've came across. Maybe this isn't for someone specifically that's listening, but I feel like some people can be so paralyzed by their own thoughts, and in the sense of like doing things that they want to do. Like I want to accomplish this, but the thoughts of insecurity, of fear, of doubt, it's just like I can't ever get to that point. I can't ever take the correct steps to get to that point.
And you can ask yourself why.
Yeah.
Like why do you think that? Like why are you having those thoughts, or why aren't you moving towards those things? That's, you know, you have to have self-discipline. We've had to have self-discipline to start this podcast, you know, and
it's something that it's one of those things where it's where the podcast comes into place, like thinking from a higher view, like even in the physical sense of what I'm talking about driving on the highway. If you're driving on the highway in rainy weather and you look above, you're going to see rain, you're going to see dirt coming on the windshield, and it's inevitable. Like you're going to see that from a higher view. And the thing is, in the same way that we are driving forward, like to our destination, we're going forward, we're going to a place. Time is always going to go. Time is never going to stop. You know, we're always on that road of continuing.
Yeah.
We're just going along, always going, you know, and you can get that dirt on your windshield as you're going.
What are you going to do with that dirt?
You have to get that windshield wiper.
All right.
You have to clean it off. You know, it's going to come.
Yeah.
You know, you have to clear your vision. You got to remind yourself where you're going.
I feel like in the beginning, you know, when you start to think of these things, like, why do I process the way I process things? Why do I respond this way? You have to start peeling the layers off. You
and
have
that's
to start.
It is layers.
Yeah. And then it's like once you come to this place where you feel like, wow, like I feel whole, like I'm not broken anymore. I'm not, you know, like we have to all get to this whole place. And honestly, like you're always going to be looking for something else to fulfill you, but nothing in this world is going to fulfill you. And that's why we are such strong believers in God, and we've had our own story and testimony, like how we got to this point and have our own relationship with God together and individually. And, you know, I can feel whole and complete, even if a little bit my perspective is blurry. Like even if my vision is a little blurry, I still feel complete in me because I know whose I am. I know who I am. And I feel like that's where it starts. And then it's like, okay, God, like you start to take everything to God and he shows you, it's like in your subconscious mind, like he brings those thoughts to your brain. Like our brain is so powerful.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
There really is only one truly way to clear your windshield. And if you've been listening to this podcast for any time now, I think you know the answer to that. You know, I don't think I need to repeat myself on that.
I want to know.
It's God. Did you not pick it up yet?
Yeah, I did.
No, I'm just kidding. But no, it's God. You know, that's like, I feel like it's the right thing to do to speak the truth.
And I definitely agree with you, like coming on here and talking truth. I'm going to speak, you know, my knowledge and like what I've gained. And I can tell you like a little bit of my testimony. Like I tried to do things on my own. And, you know, like, we do have a powerful mind. Like, God gave us that. Like, you have to get yourself out of bed. You have to, you know, you have to choose. You have free will. Like, you have to choose to do things that are good for you, including when it comes to your thought life. You have to choose to turn down those negative thoughts and replace it with good thoughts. You have to choose that.
Yeah.
So at the same time, like, God is not going to do everything for you. Like, that's just not how it works.
Yeah, it's not a genie show, you know.
It's not how it works. Like, it takes you to get to that point.
I think a lot of people are confused about that as well.
Yeah. Like,
Some people can be.
Things aren't going to, your business is not going to succeed if you don't work hard towards it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, we had to get on here and make this happen, you know, but God leads the way. You know, he has a path for you that you walk, and it's freeing when you walk that path. When you're walking that narrow path and you're just walking, you know, up the highway, and you're just driving up the highway is what I'm saying. Not walking. You don't want to walk up the highway. That's one thing.
I hope you don't. Don't walk up the highway.
Just drive straight. You know, you don't need to go spiraling with your thoughts and having like a negative thought pattern life and just like spiraling in worry. And I want to go to the next thing when it comes to blurry, like our vision being blurry. And I feel like a big thing for me is like your addictions. Like, what are your addictions? I feel like having an addiction blurs your vision really intensely, because you are just thinking about that one thing. Or like, oh, I need the next thing. I need the next cigarette. I need the next cigarette. Oh, I need to go outside, get the next cigarette. Da, da, da. Oh, I need the next shot. I need the next shot. Or I need that nicotine pen. Or I need to smoke weed. I need another blunt. And like, we have a testimony with that.
Yeah,
and
we've been there.
Oh my gosh. And
I mean, addiction can even be like money or like
anything.
Chasing a job.
Yeah. And
I'm addicted to like working.
Yeah. Like making anything, like idolizing anything more than your, you know, idolizing things before God and your health and what's good for you. You have to take time to rest. You have to take time to give yourself, and you can find rest even in the doing. Like, that's a whole other thing. I need to just slow down for a second. Hold on a second. Even with the addictions part, that also, yes, it can go with other things and not just what we're talking about. Also, it can go with, you can have an addiction to your thought process. Like, you can be addicted to worry and thinking the worst.
Yeah, that's so true.
And I know that you know that I've had to walk a long way with that. And even today, oh my gosh, I had to, you have to think about what you're thinking about to know how to process and remove these thoughts. You have to. So like today, like my throat was hurting a little bit, or like, I think it's my thyroid or something. Sometimes it flares up. I've noticed when I drink coffee, or I don't know, I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know. But I started worrying about it, and I was like, no, I am not going to worry about this. You know, I'm not going to let this blur my vision, because it does. It overcomes my vision and like what I'm doing next. Like, I'm like sitting here doing stuff, and it's like coming and creeping up, and I'm like, nah, I'm going to turn you down. Shut it.
Shit it. No, but like you're saying, I had to make the decision. We had to make the decision to make the right choices, start teaching ourselves the right things, investing in ourselves. And like you were saying, like, and it's like a seed. Like when you invest, it takes time. It's definitely something that is not like an overnight thing. You just have to like keep developing yourself, really. Like, and when I say yourself, I mean like you're making that decision. And like we just said, like God is not a genie. He's not going to transform you by doing nothing just because you want it. Yeah. You know, you got to make that initiation. You have to make that choice.
I mean, I don't ever want to limit God or put him in a box. Like, I know he can move in like more ways than we could ever imagine. Like, I've heard crazy ways how God moved in other people's lives. And so like by one touch of God, like he can do what he wants. Yeah. But what we're just trying to get to is you have to have self-discipline. Like
Yeah.
you have to choose God in the first place.
Just like we talked about before, you know, it's a complex thing, and you have to respect it as is. You know, we can't go about it like a simple thing. This is not a simple thing. We have to go about it in the greatness that it is. You know, the human body, the brain,
And life.
and life. You know, it's just you have to see it from a higher view. Okay, you have to see it from a higher view.
I feel like we get so caught up in, you know, the daily tasks and the, you know, and how culture is today with social media, and it's so easy to be distracted, and there's nothing wrong with social media. There's nothing wrong with Netflix or anything like that, but it can become a distraction.
Yeah.
For your health, for your mental health, for you jumping higher levels in life. You know, like life is full of mysteries, and it's not meant to just be in this box and work your 9 to 5 every day and not experience things. Like even in your thought life, like it's amazing the kind of things that, you know, like now working with little kids and seeing their imagination, and even if you have children, I'm sure you see it, like it's beautiful, like just how the kid's brain is, and they don't have any worries, or they don't have anything blocking those things at all, and it's just like they're a really good way to study.
Yeah, absolutely, especially with this, like having a clear view. They're just careless careless beings. Like they don't have a care in the world. Nothing's bothering them. You know, you're so right. Like, those are such a good example to look to.
Yeah.
On how to act and how to view things. Some people might be asking, okay, so we're talking about clearing your vision, getting a windshield wipe, whatever you guys are talking about. We're talking about cars. We're talking about life. Like, what are we talking about here? Okay. So some of you may be wondering, how do we get to this point? How do we clear our vision? How do we have the windshield wipe over our own set of lenses? And I was thinking about this question because I didn't want to leave anybody hanging, closing out, and I didn't want to leave anybody wondering. So I wanted to leave somebody with just a little tip of advice. I feel like this can be applicable to just about everybody. And what that is just speaking to people that have wisdom. Speaking to a mentor, finding a mentor. Usually, typically, people that are older than you, they have more years under their belt, typically tend to carry around more wisdom. You know, typically, that's not always the case. But if you are looking for a start, you know, for someone to talk to that has wisdom in life, someone older is a great start.
Like somebody that you look up to and you're like, wow, like I want to be there.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the next step. Like how they think or how they do life. I want to catch that. Like I want to get a little bit of their flavor in my life.
Like me and you, we had, when we just wanted to get seriously serious about our relationship, and we had a wonderful couple, Holly and Alan. They do counseling for like their jobs. That's what they do for work, to like support themselves. And they actually counseled us for free.
Yeah.
Which
God bless them. Well,
an amazing experience.
And that's actually like I was gonna start getting there. About like being the vulnerable part was like we've been through so much, and we had to choose: are we supposed to be together?
Yeah.
Like, is this supposed to be a thing? You know, and I don't know. I say this ring came off about 5 times,
probably more, before
we got married. And when I say that to people, when I share a little bit of our testimony, they're like, oh my gosh, like that's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Because that kind of just shows you how much we've been through without having to explain everything. Because like, first of all, my perspective, my vision was so blurry. My heart was so broken by like just life. Like I had to experience a hard life, and like that caused my vision to be broken and my perspective to be broken. Like things that you go through, whatever it is, it blurs your vision. It gets the dirt on the windshield wiper, and you have to like discern and figure out like what is going on. Like how can I start finding healing for myself, you know, counseling or anything that's good for you. And that's what we did. We're like, okay, this is going to work. We need something. We can't do this on our own.
And I'm sure somebody out there, they're at that point. You have to be. Somebody out there has to be at that point. Like, I need something. I don't know what I need. I don't know what to do. I'm just like looking around, like, I don't know where to start. Find someone to talk to.
Yeah, that's simple. Just find
someone
somebody.
to talk to.
And even if you don't have anywhere to go, like, start this search for a community. It can start in a church. And I know church can be so intimidating, and you might have had a bad experience about church. And I'm sorry that you did. I know all churches are not, the best out there. I mean, you're dealing with people, and people are hurt. People are broken, and hurt people, and nobody's perfect. Like, we're not perfect. So you experience the, imperfect. But if you need a community and you're in Fort Worth, like, we have an amazing community called The House. And we have an amazing people, mentors that you can, look up to, that would be honored to pour into you and talk to. And they're out there. You just have to put the work in.
The fact that you're listening to us, I hope that you are comfortable enough to, reach out to us and just want to be part of what we're part of. Because it's truly going to be life-changing. If you make that move, like, it's going to reap its benefits.
Yeah, and then when we started to go to The House and getting around community, because like Holly and Alan was the beginning, but we didn't have a community. And like, we watched, we watched Elevation, and we're like, Stephen Furtick, we want a community like that. Like, that's so awesome. And then literally God put this in our path. 2 people that don't even go there told us about this church. So we tried it out, and our lives have changed dramatically.
Turned upside down.
Upside down. Now here we are.
That's my best advice to give, like, on a broad spectrum to most people. And I feel like I could give more of like a specific intel to someone, like on like a one-on-one conversation. If I like know your situation, it might be different, like I might tell you something a little different, but that's kind of just like a broad thing that I think would work with anybody. I think if you go and talk with somebody that has wisdom, or you look up to, or you're someone that you want to be like, and you start talking to them about your stuff, I think that's an amazing place to start, and I think you won't regret it for sure. But to make clear what a clear view can look like, what having a clear view should look like, and what you should strive to get to. And like you were saying, like the world that we live in can be so like caught up in social media, caught up in what's the next thing, what am I going to do next? I think having a clear view, which I think is a lifelong lesson to learn, because it's something that, we try to strive for every day.
Yeah.
But I think that is just being present and being grateful for what's around you, being able to just see clearly without any things on your back, without carrying loads wherever you walk.
You don't have to heaviness. You don't have to carry that weight. You don't have to carry it.
Yeah.
You don't.
Give yourself a windshield wipe, and that might even be like this is a whole different conversation. This is a whole different like topic, but that might even be like one of the paths of life is getting a constant windshield wipe, We just need a refresher sometimes.
Yeah.
We need a refresher sometimes. And what we're offering to you is not a refreshment, but what we are offering is encouragement to do that refreshment. We're not a pastor. We're not anybody that is educated in that field. We just have experience that we can share with you guys, and hopefully inspire you to take steps to do that for yourself.
Yeah.
I don't want to have a listener on here that doesn't actually take in what we're saying. We invest into this a lot, and my hope would be that it's only life-changing and not just a voice in your head. Eventually, the seeds that we plant, that you hear, they grow into something beautiful. You know, my hope wouldn't be for someone to just listen to us, just to give us a listen.
Yeah.
Just to check us out. You know, this is real stuff. This stuff has power behind it. I can guarantee you it. And if you don't believe me, just try it. You got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
But
that's real.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. You well said.
Yeah. But yeah, just being present. Being present is where you want to be.
I feel like being present, that's everything. You know? It really is. Being present that's how you're going to be able to discern your thoughts and think about what you're thinking.
Even like a kid. They're so present. They're nothing but present. Be like a kid.
Be like a kid.
Be like a kid. That's it.
Childlike.
No, but
childlike.
I think with that, we're gonna end this episode and close it out. I want to leave you guys with that encouragement, that inspiration, something that came to me, and I hope it inspires you, just gives you some easement, some
anything. And we're always here for questions, or even if you want to share, like DM us or comment or anything, to share anything, like we're here to respond to you, to help guide you the best way we can to your next step. And you're not in it alone. You know, you have a community right here.
Yeah. We're part of your community. If you're listening, you're part of the community.
Yes.
You're part of it. You're part of the higher view. And I'm glad you said that, because I wanted to make that a thing as well. Like, I want to be available to anybody that feels comfortable enough to reach out. We are definitely open to it.
Yeah.
Never going to be closed off to that. If you want to DM us, you want to, whatever, however you want to reach us, it doesn't matter. But we are available. We're open. We're here to help. If there's something that you think that we could help you in talking about on this podcast, and you want to send it anonymously, just slide it in there. Got you.
And if you are searching, you know, for more community or anything, like, we're always here to help guide you. I mean, there's a bunch of sources out there to help you. And, you know, if this is where it starts, this is where it starts. And, you know, that you're investing in yourself, even listening and taking the time to listen to this podcast, you are investing in yourself.
Yeah.
And I just pray that these seeds are being planted in you, and that they are being reminded in your mind throughout the day, anytime that you need it. You know, you're not going through this alone.
Yeah.
So.
Well, with that, we'll close this out.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you too.
You, not the audience.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening to the end of this. We hope to see you next week. Yes. We'll be dropping every Saturday. So follow us on Instagram, YouTube, anywhere on socials, and share this podcast if you feel like this is something that could benefit somebody that you know. If somebody is going through something that could resonate with this, give them a share. Just send them a link. Tell them about us. We would very much appreciate it.
Yeah.
But until then, see things from a higher view, and we'll see you guys next week. I love y'all.
See y'all next week.
Peace out.